The Squid Game finale is finally here, the last episode when we get to know who becomes the winner. Who gets to bring back home the so-desired 45 billion won? What happens after the winner is announced? Will he become the new host or will he try to destroy everything? A huge plot twist awaits in the end. The Squid Game finale is, of course, the final game Gi-hun and Sang-woo play. After a lot of back and forth in which both men are injured, Gi-hun refuses to give the killer blow, instead asking Sang-woo to join him in quitting, forcing the game masters to let them both go free. Broke, and dead up to their eyes, but free. Sang-woo, on the other hand, utters the sentence above before stabbing himself in the neck. As a result, Gi-hun is the single survivor and winner. The front man blindfolds him and drives him away in a limousine, calling him and his fellow players racehorses in a racecourse. He's been dropped on the street with a debit card in his mouth that's worth almost $39 million in US dollars. He unintentionally stumbles into Sang-woo's mother and after talking to her, he goes back home. It is unexpectedly quiet there, and after opening some doors he then finds his own mother dead on the floor. The scene cuts and we go forward a year later. An exhausted-looking Gi-hun meets with a banker a year later, who tries to persuade him to invest his money rather than leaving it all in a savings account. Gi-hun only asks for a few dollars to buy a drink, which he consumes alone on the beach. He's subsequently approached by an elderly woman selling roses, and the flower he purchases is accompanied by a familiar-looking invitation to see his Gi-ganbu. That phrase, which we learnt meant a best friend with whom you share everything in the terrible episode 6, gives us a hint as to who the game's ultimate ruler is. It's Il-nam, the elderly man who, although being terminally ill, is still alive. To hear Il-nam tell it, being tremendously wealthy, as he is similar to being incredibly poor in the sense that life is no longer enjoyable. The game was an attempt by him and his friends to liven things up a little for themselves. He felt like a kid again when he decided to join the game as a player rather than a spectator. Il-nam and Gi-hun make a bet. If anyone assists a homeless man they observe on the snowy street below Il-high-rise Nam's refuge by midnight, Gi-hun wins, and Il-nam is killed. If he loses, Il-nam is free to take everything he wants from Gi-hun. As it turns out, Gi-hun wins. A bystander who momentarily stopped to investigate the man returns with a cop. Il-nam, on the other hand, dies before seeing Gi-hun win triumph. In any case, Gi-hun seemed to be shaken awake by the meeting. He gets his hair chopped and colored fire engine red on a whim. He fulfills his friend's last wish before she died. It is of course helping Sae Byok's little brother, getting him out of children's home to a family, hands him over to Woo's mother along with a large sum of money. Then he goes to the airport, well-dressed and well-coiffed, to catch a ticket to the United States to see his daughter, who has relocated there with her mother. However, he soon notices the man who recruited him for the game enrolling another unfortunate soul. He tries to catch up with the recruiter, but he manages to get away. He swipes the would-be player's business card and dials the number. When he phones and reveals his name, the voice on the other end of the line warns, "Don't get any crazy ideas." Gi-hun says, "I can't forgive you." Instead of boarding the plane, he turns around and walks away, inevitably leading to the second season. But it's Sang-woo's final remarks that have stayed with me the most out of everything. What does he mean when he talks about his mother calling him in and says that no one does this for them anymore? After all, both their mothers were living only for them. Even though Gi-hun's mother was feeling pity that her son is such a failure, that he lost his family and became a gambling addict. Sang-woo's mother never knew about his failure and was prideful of who he was. Even when she was told about it she couldn't believe it. Despite this, neither woman is capable of protecting her boys from themselves. I mean, clearly, neither of them would have gotten themselves so deeply into debt that playing the Hunger Games seemed like a better option than the life they were already living. Sang-woo, I believe, was pining for that sense of security. The knowledge that someone, somewhere, could shield them from their own darkest tendencies while also keeping wolves like Il-nam and his sociopathic rich pals at bay. And you know, I get it. To grow up in a capitalist society, as you and I have, as Sang-woo and Gi-hun have, is to realize how alone you are, how powerless you are against the vast forces that move the world. Forces that would strip you and yours for pieces at the first opportunity if there was any money in it for anyone. Play any game you like in an attempt to outwit the game masters. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky and win like Gi-hun. But the bottom truth is that no one is calling you anymore. Nobody ever calls you home, where you're safe and cherished. Nobody can stop you from playing the game you've been compelled to play. There was no one there. Thanks for watching and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this.